election. And humbly, we are going to start by presenting the work of an outcome of the election of the PDWG. In French, we say co-president, and the election of NRO. Our term started 11 February 2019. So it was, so they nominated 4 people, your humble servant who is here. So we had Mr. Ali from Comor, Madame Balbin Manga from Cameroon, Mr. SM, who is in the hall, who was the representative of the board. Now, to make our work in the right way, so we have some responsibilities of or activities. So we want to give you the picture, the image, how we worked in the element we focused and how the result we are going to propose you were reached. In the election we are going to have this year, we have to cover C seats to elect or a candidate to the C seats. It is for the election for the board who will be taking place tomorrow. We have also election for the co-chair who is going to be done right now. We have an election for NRO, so who is going now to be done right away. And at the end, we are going also to have election about the governor committee for tomorrow. Today we have a couple of election, and tomorrow we'll have also the remaining. So in the on what we are going to work. So we had almost 700 mail in a period of 4 months, 4 or 5 months, if we consider that June was a half month. Now, the main work among members of NUCOM, so we spend around 60 hours of meeting for each weekend, and we can see now how many meetings we had per month. Now, concerning the question how, because as this process was also evolving, we had also to make some correction. So we communicate enoughly. Already when the staff were also working in the social media, and we made a Zoom with the community to try to explain the importance of this election, how we are also to organize, and especially what are the possibilities they had also about the candidates. One of the elements which were given as an indicator, so we had to do, so it is a very good word in English, but I want also to translate it in French. So we are trying now to translate literally, but our goal, it was to be sure that the people who are now presenting themselves, that we are not going to have just a robot who is going now to postulate. Then later on, we found he was not a human, it was just a robot. So in the case of the PDWG co-chair, so we found a very special situation. In the newcomer, we found it was very important that we come back to the community so they can have also their reaction. And it is true, the timeline was very short, and we made we started a kind of consultation to have the feedback on a special question about the candidacy, especially those who are complaining that the time was very short now to bring the information. So after this consultant, we judged that it was really pertinent, good now to bring them back. So those who are following the process, you will find that okay, there was some also upgrading and also updating. So why I'm trying to make a focus this slide to try to show you this image. It was not really an easy roadmap. Sometimes we could not find really a solution. But I want to thank the community who at a particular time they came back to us to give us also some guideline. It was not really practical, but believe me, sometimes you have to find a consensus as we were tried. That was now the work we accepted to do. After doing all this, the goal, it was now to elect. What were this now? The posts which were vacant. So we had two vacant posts for the co-chair. Ernest had time to explain to us that we had Mr. Dewale, Mr. Sami, who were also who gave the candidacy, and we had also to renew the candidacy. So the result we found, we had totally 8 members. Among them 8, you can see the images and you'll be honored because so we are giving back this work to you. We are going to bring them here so they will have an opportunity to express themselves. So it will be just 2 minutes. It is not going to be enough so they can talk from their heart. At least you will have also the opportunity to listen to them and also to ask them questions. So this will enable us to conclude the first step before the election. I would like also to tell you that I want to tell you that we have also candidates who are not here. We had time to communicate with them, so not break our ritual. When the candidate is not there, he can send a video or maybe send a message to the people who are going to elect them. So we have a candidate who sent back the document, and another one who asked us to just to engage a process that the committee is going to explain. So it will help everybody to be sure that what we have done. So I'm going to start calling the candidate, Komi Elisha. If he's in the hall, stand up please, and then we can move in the table of honor. Morning. Are you comfortable? We have also the right to smile even if it is election. So we are going to give Mr. Elisha 2 minutes so he can explain why he wants to be. I'm going to do that. I'm going now to introduce myself in English.
I'm an IT engineer and AFNOG instructor. I was also an African fellow twice, and I'm from Togo, currently living in Togo. So, few numbers when it comes to PDP, policy development process. I have authored 2 proposals. One has passed rough consensus and is currently implemented, which is the intra-IR transfer we have mentioned during the day. And the other one is the PDP bis. So I've already mentioned that I speak both French and English. I do my best, though that I'm not a native English, I do my best to understand, comment, and to hold discussion. So yeah, my main motivation is to serve African community and precisely the policy development working group. And as stated in the current process, I would like us as a community and as a working group especially to stick to principles, 3 principles: openness, transparency, and fairness. So that's my last word. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Komi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Komi. So you have 2 minutes, Mr. Elisha. To the dot. 2 minutes to the dot.
Sorry, excuse me. Le comité d'élection vient nous faire une suggestion.
The committee of election. So everybody can come, present their candidacy. So you can ask them questions. So all of them can come. I don't see. I consider that it is accepted. The second candidate, Mr. Kaliba.
You're good.
Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I would like to probably announce on the floor, I haven't informed the NOMCOM chair informally that I will be withdrawing my candidacy for this race for this time alone. This is after careful thoughts and consultation with community members that we do need to strengthen our processes and not make things a little bit messier. In other words, I will want to wish all the candidates that will be contesting for this election all the best in the election, and may the best man win. Thank you very much.
Je pense qu'on peut applaudir plus pour ce monsieur parce que
we have also to thanks our friends. This is now the courage to move forward. Our candidate Martin sent a mail. He's going to ask one of the members here who is going to talk on his behalf. If he is in the hall, please move forward. I hope you are also, he contacted you. I'm not the one who is validating. So it is the committee. I'm just, respecting the process. I'm not the one to validate. Alors, il n'a
kindly requested that if possible and if he allows, Haitham reads out his statement. As simple as that. Haitham, are you ready to do that or can we proceed? Please make it 2 minutes max. Thanks. Yes, please.
Point of order.
Merci.
Now, up to now, the way we have conducted our elections, people have come to the mic in front of the community in person, or they send videos. Now, I don't know, maybe this is the first time we are being confronted with such a process where one particular candidate is requesting one member of the community, if I got it right, to read a statement from him, not to speak on his behalf, to read a statement from him. Now, I thought this should have been already cleared with the election committee. If the election committee would have already been made aware of such a request, either it would have rejected it or it would have approved it, and maybe would have told us today that they have approved that mode. Since we don't have that kind of information emanating from the election committee, it means the gentleman did not contact you to request you to tell the community about it. It's only now that you are aware. So in terms of precedent that we have, I would state that such a procedure is most unusual, and even I'll go far as saying that it is irregular in terms of the way we run elections here. So in my personal opinion, this process should not be allowed. But since we are in a community, and consensus is the word we use and the way we conduct ourselves, maybe if you want to put it to the community, you can, but legally, I won't stand by such a decision. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashok. And I think as the elections committee, we will take your advice on that. We're out of time. I would recommend that Mr. Sarge continues with the next candidate. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, Sunday here. I want to know, did Ashok come as counsel of Afrinic?
Please, Mr. Sunday,
Yes.
can I give you the floor?
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Okay, now you have the floor.
Thank you very much. I wanted to be sure that we are following our own process and our own rules. Did Ashok come to the floor now as counsel to Afrinic or to advise the community in his personal capacity? My understanding is that if there is anything, this group seated here would determine how they want to do it. Please don't take it away from the group. Thank you.
My good friend Sunday knows I never speak unless I stand in my status of legal counsel, right? But secondly, just to advise the community, we have a provision in our bylaws, which is 10.2 of our bylaws, which says if there is anything which has which comes to this community, which needs to be determined and has not been determined earlier, by consensus, this could be determined. If something during election process happens and the community wishes to deal with it, they can deal with it, and eventually to be used as a precedent for our forthcoming election. 10.2 bylaws.
Okay.
As counsel.
Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, for Mr. Mark Elkins, can he connect through Zoom? And Mr. Mark Elkins, can he connect through Zoom online and put his 2 minutes speech? Because he is sick. He has a flu and he couldn't come. So he asked your authorization for that.
We may. S'il vous plaît, on va essayer d'avancer.
We'll try to move forward.
Vu que Monsieur Elkins,
Because Mr. Elkin, we will try to connect him, but we will call the other candidate, so we'll give him time.
On va demander au staff s'il peut
We are
nous
going
communiquer
to ask the staff if they can also show the video of Mr. Sami, because he could not make the trip to Kampala.
Sami, yes.
Mr. Sami. Walaikum salam, c'est mon plaisir. Volume. C'est mon plaisir d'être ici. Vous demandons votre appui, continuer le travail que nous avons fait. Chère communauté, wa alaikum salam. C'est mon plaisir d'être devant vous à cet événement, demandant votre appui pour continuer le travail que nous avons fait et surtout continuer à gérer nos ressources. Ceux qui ne me connaissent pas, je suis Sami Saleh, je vis au Soudan. Je travaille à l'université du Soudan. Je suis un professeur assistant. J'ai maintenant 12 ans donc comme professeur. Et j'ai fait aussi d'autres travaux à temps partiel. Je suis fier d'être un participant et contribuant concernant cette initiative. J'ai eu le plaisir de travailler pour cette communauté non-com et c'était mon plaisir comme donc un coach pendant quelques années. Nous avons essayé de prendre les meilleures propositions et nous focaliser sur les bénéfices et je vais continuer à apprécier votre appui et surtout ce que j'ai essayé d'apporter dans notre communauté sans être biaisé. Alors, je serai toujours ouvert et travailler dans cet environnement pour que vous puissiez être très confortable pour partager vos connaissances pendant que nous discutons les propositions. Je suis à votre service.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Monsieur Marc vient d'envoyer.
Mr. Mark sent a statement that Mr. Ernest, as the chair, is going to read on his behalf. Nous allons lire le discours de Monsieur Marc. Il est très bref.
I'm reading his speech on behalf of the Elections Committee. Please don't roast me or fire me any questions on behalf of Mark Elkins. So, 20, so is part of his speech. That's how it starts. So, 20 years ago, Mark met Dr. Nick Weiner at AIS19 in San Jose, where people were loudly discussing the creation of an African regional registry. So Mark's interest in and support for Afrinic goes back a long way. Mark was first part of the NOMCOM in 2008. If 2 minutes reach, let me know. And has served on a total of 7 NOMCOMs. He became a board member in 2009.
But this is what I said earlier, that we can't have his statement read. Then we suggested the Zoom. So everybody was expected that he's going to speak to us on the Zoom.
Ashok, he cannot actually connect to Zoom. This is why I'm reading it.
No, we agreed that he was going to speak on the Zoom.
Yeah, he just communicated. He says
That's
he can't
all I
speak
know.
on the Zoom. Yes, okay. So I think this is a simple matter. Let's just read it and get over with it. Yes.
No. Next year we'll have 50. Next year we'll have 50 statements to read.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Ashok, let's take your advice, and I'll quickly, in the interest of time, by show of hands, ask who thinks we should read a Mark statement and who thinks we shouldn't. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Right.
Sorry, please, before you take the poll, I have a concern, which is what exactly is Ashok's concern, so that we can all know why he wants us to ensure that it's the candidate himself that speaks. What the concern is, despite whatever the precedent is.
The concern that every candidate up to now have always presented themselves in person or via a film or a video. This has been past practice. If we want to change the practice, as I said, there is one provision in the Act, in the bylaws, 10.2, which allows it if the community agrees to it by consensus and collectively. That is all that we can do, because my fear, and I need here to advise the community that next time, get ready to have 2 days of PDP, because we might be having 50 statements to read. Not only that, the requirement to be present in person or via video link to present himself to the candidate. He needs to convince the people there.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Owen DeLong, DeLong Consulting. I don't understand Ashok's concern of 50 statements to read, because all of the candidates have to get nominated by the nominating committee. I can't imagine the nominating committee passing a slate of 50 candidates forward. So I don't see how that would be possible.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Much as I understand what the fear is, I still stand to say that it is the community that will take a decision. I know when video was introduced, there was no video before. We accepted video. There's a peculiar situation now. Let the community look at the merits and decide. I don't think it is right to advise that there will be a problem in 20 years' time when we've not gotten there. So whatever the problem is, let's deal with it now. Somebody has stated the reason why he cannot be here. It could have been government shutdown that prevented a plane from flying. Anything could have happened. So let us be real and deal with the issue instead of looking for the shortest way out. Thank you.
Sunday, thank you so much. And I think let's close the microphone because we're really out of time. We're out of time.
I need to actually ask for 1 minute. As a very concerned candidate who just stepped down.
Please make it quick. Make it very quick. Yes.
I've not seen where exactly within the procedure that says that someone should read a statement in proxy. Within the procedure, I tried as much as possible to read every rule within this election. Now, I also understand that the NOMCOM sent an email to all candidates, including myself, that have a recorded video and send to us early enough, and sent to the NOMCOM early enough. Now, if you are reading in proxy for him, it probably then sends a sense to me emotionally or psychologically that you are campaigning for him. And so, in my own opinion, if he cannot send, in my strong opinion, advising the community that if he cannot send that same statement to the entire community list, why should he send it to an individual in proxy? What is hidden about the statement? It's a community approach. And so in my own opinion, I would strongly advise that while I cannot object, and I do not have the right to object, I would strongly advise the NOMCOM to probably tread the path of caution and do not set unnecessary precedents.
The one last remark from Dr. Kwena, please.
Hello. I think I'd like to appeal to you to please listen to your counsel, okay? And especially don't listen to people who are not directly from here. Listen to your counsel. You know, many things you may take casually, okay, sometimes can come back and bite you. Changing whatever your procedures are on the fly are in fact the most dangerous that you can do. because it's happening quickly and you may not have had chance to really think through it. So I personally will ask you, just listen to your counsel, okay, and do only what the counsel says. Because your organization is constantly under threat of this legal, this legal, that, legal, that. If you want to play safe, follow your counsel.
Okay, so, and I think this is what we should be doing. As advised by Ashok, the bylaws are clear. This was a change that we need to issue, to make a poll on. And for me, it is simple. Let's not waste any more time. It would be a quick yes or no, and then we continue. I do trust that Ashok has read the bylaws and understands them. So I'll make a very quick poll. It's a yes or no question, and then we can proceed. So Mark Erkins has requested, and we as ECOM agreed that his statement be read by somebody else because he could not make it. Now, who is in support, by show of hands, that Mark Erkins' statement be read by either myself or, I won't read it, by Hytham? Can I see your hands up? Leave your hands high, please. High, high, high. In support, if you want Mark Erkin's statement to be read out by somebody else, your hands up high. Keep your hand high, nice and high. Your hands high, please. Not two hands, Lillian. So, do we have a count? No, we don't count. Do we have a final count? Do we have a final count? We'll give the staff a few seconds to have the final count. Arthur, do we have a final count? Okay, thank you. So who thinks Mark Erkin's statement should not be read to this meeting? Keep your hands high. keep your hands high. Who thinks Mark Elkin's statement should not be read to delegates in this room? Keep your hands high, please. Do I see somebody who voted twice? The staff are still counting, so keep your hands high, please. Okay, a few seconds and we'll have the counts, the final counts. No, still keep your hands high. So we have the final counts. 51 for Mark's statements to be read and 116 for Mark's statement to not be read. So we proceed. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Chair.
Thank you very much, Chairman. C'est the Committee of Election. We are going to continue. We are going to continue with our procedure. We are calling Mr. Moise Selongo if he's in the hall. Mr. Moise. Mr. Moise, are you in the hall?
Good evening, AFRINIC members and FOLA members. My name is Moses Serugo, and I am a Ugandan. I am standing here because I believe that the community needs a better presentation, a better representation. As I said, my name is Moses Serugo. I am a telecommunications engineer with over 12 years of experience. I have worked with MTN, I have worked with Orange, I have worked with almost every telecommunication company and ISP in this country and in other countries in Africa. I have worked in Rwanda for 1 year. I've worked in Zambia for 1 year. And I have worked in almost many other countries in the space of technology and IT. Many of you have been asking, why are you standing? I want to answer that question right now.
50 secondes.
I am standing because I qualify. Thanks to our unique policies that allow people like us, people like you, to stand and represent your community. Every one of you, you have a voice. Please vote for me. Why? Because I am well suited than any other candidate here.
Please, Mr. Moses, can you come up? Moses, Moses, why are you running? Just wait. Avoir le temps de poser des questions à
So we'll have a time to ask a question to Moises. We are now calling Mr. Taiwo of Nigeria. If he is in the hall, please present yourself. Mr. Taiwo. 1, 2. If you can help us to have 2 minutes. Beyond 2 minutes, I will stop the microphone. I'll switch the microphone.
Hello, I am Taiwo from Africa. I am based in Nigeria. In my country, anytime anybody asks me that, where are you from? I say I'm from the capital. And they say nobody comes from the capital. I say yes, that's why I am from the capital. Because your ethnicity, your tribe, your religion has no say where I am. So given the privilege to stand here today, I'm no more Taiwo from the capital. I'm now Taiwo from Africa. So no matter your race, your culture, your background, as long as you stand to progress Africa, and as long as you stand to make internet sustainable in Africa, I think I will be your man to sit on this table. For that, with that being said, I would like to say my stand will always be the stand of the meeting and the community. And my opinion will have no stand. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup pour Monsieur Taïrou.
Thank you very much for Mr. Taiwo. So we want some minutes. Now we are calling Mr. Anthony Uba. If he is in the hall, Mr. Anthony Uba.
Bonsoir, good evening. My name is Anthony Uba. I'm Nigerian. I am a telecommunications engineer. I've been in the industry for 9 years. I've worked in an operator. Currently, I work with Ericsson. On the side, I run an IT company called Goldspine. We deal on vast services and software development. I offer to involve myself and to volunteer to serve as a co-chair with AFRINIC because I believe that the community and the policies that AFRINIC produces is pivotal to Africa spiraling into a global player in the IT sector. We're talking 5G, we're talking Internet of Things, and the policies we make are critical to all these things. So I'm here to represent every young person because the youths are the engine rooms that drive ICT, that drive Internet of Things, everything we talk about. And I believe a young person deserves a seat here so that when we discuss, we can talk freely and not act like we are being intimidated, like some suggested during the discussions and in the mailing list. So that's why I'm here, and I hope to be appointed to sit there and represent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we're gonna call our last candidate, Mr. Abdul Karim. Oloyede. Please. Please, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. My name is Abdulkarim Ayopo Oloyede. I'm from Nigeria. I hold a PhD in telecommunications engineering from the University of York. I am currently one of the 2 vice chairs representing Africa at the ITU Telecommunication Development Advisory Group. I am a senior lecturer in telecommunications engineering at the University of Ilorin, and I'm also a postdoctoral researcher at the University of York, where I am working on cost-effective telecommunication development for deployment for developing countries. My reasons for contesting for this position is because I feel I have gained a lot
1 minute left
from this community. And this is a way of me giving back to render this service to this community. I want to say, as I stand before you today, I am for everybody, and at the same time, I'm for nobody. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Merci à tout le monde.
Thank you very much. This is now the sample of our candidate. These are the sample of our candidate. So we want the question to be short. Then the question should be addressed to the candidate. And we are going to listen. So you will be having 1 minute to respond. Now the floor, the microphone is open for question. Accurate question. J'ai 2 questions pour Omi. Il a été donc un initiateur des politiques concernant le PDP. Si vous êtes élu comme coprésident, est-ce que, alors, qu'est-ce que Afrenic en parle? Est-ce qu'il y aura un conflit d'intérêts pour Moïse avec un CV très impressionnant? Je suis au courant de la contribution que vous avez faite concernant le groupe, le politique.
Plus de questions?
Do you have some questions? If we don't have questions, I'm good.
Je suis Jules.
I'm Jules. I'm from DRC Congo. My question, we heard our candidate, but I'm talking now, Mr. Moses, you have traveled a lot. Now, those traveling, are they going to help? What is the project of a society? So we didn't explain. You just talk about you have worked here and there, but we don't know what you are saying. What is your question? So you are just we heard about his traveling. What he's going to do?
Thank you.
What is your project?
Mine goes to Mr. Karim. He has told us variety of the things that he does. I'm really worried whether he will get time to perform according to his tight schedule.
Merci beaucoup.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you very much.
Caleb.
Thank you very much. I am an ex-PDP co-chair candidate. So only just have knowledge questions or quiz for the candidates who are contesting, because one of the reasons why I withdraw is that I also even though I'm qualified. I also
Please, we want a specific question.
Yes,
Can you-
hold on.
Yeah.
I do want the best experienced person to also have that seat. So I only have one question in the order that we have from Taiwo, Anthony, Komi, to please answer this very quick one right now without having to have any consultation. And please, I will need them to be with the mic. How many usable IP addresses can you find in a /31?
Thank you.
To the next person, how many usable IP addresses can you find in a /8? How many usable IP addresses can you find in a /31? And you, how many usable IP addresses can you find in a /6?
About IP addresses in all the policies.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. These are simple questions. Hold on. These are simple questions that whoever has to go on that seat must know what the simple concepts are, can also be able to understand how to get a rough consensus.
I haven't seen a single IP address block on all.
S'il vous plaît, c'est moi qui... je pense qu'il faut qu'on respecte la
I think we have also to respect the protocol. Otherwise, everybody who wants to, you have to be short and accurate.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think
we have, excuse me, please. I think we have a process. Let's follow the process, and also let's respect the ruling. The chair is ruling the meeting. Let's respect it, please. Please, I beg. Before you speak, seek the floor from the chair. Thank you.
Yes, please proceed.
Oui, merci, co-chair. Donc, je remercie.
You, co-chair. So, I thank the board. I thank also the intervention. My question is simple and short. I'm asking the question to all the candidates. What was the experience on PDP? How many times they have posted? How many times they have participated and contributed in a policy? How many times they have contributed in a policy or on the ongoing policy? You need to live this experience to be able to manage this process.
Just a minute, please. Hold on, please.
Right, sorry.
On arrête la queue. Je pense qu'on n'a plus besoin que d'autres viennent puisque on
don't need. We are going to give the gentleman to ask a question. Then we'll go to the left.
Questions we are asking. I think we are not writing exams. We are here to present reasons for why those people are opting for those courses. So we should limit our questions to finding their capabilities, not a technical exam questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, this is Haruna Umar Adu again from Nigeria. Mine also is not a question, but a comment.
Please, if you don't have a question, I think
it's short.
You can
Please.
let us proceed because we are running after time.
Yeah, it's very brief.
Yes,
it's very brief.
All
but
right.
The comment is in line with what this speaker just said. It's very brief, I promise. Please, this is IP address subnetting is not something that you must have at your fingertips. Like if you're a system admin or coach or whatever you are, if you feel you're too good in IP addressing, you have ample amount of time to sit down and design your network properly when you need to do IP addressing.
Thank you very
much. It's not something that. Then, please, one last comment, please. One last question.
Have much time.
Just 1 second. Just
Please,
1 second.
please, it's okay. We need to respect the rules.
No,
Come on.
I understand.
If you have to take 5 minutes, you not give time to each other people to speak. Please.
Okay.
I beg you.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Yo.
Next one.
Thank you very much. My question is addressed to Abdul Karim. I think if I heard you well, you say you are co-chair or chair at ITU, something like that. We know how these two communities evolve and the relationship between them. How can you assure us that the work of or the influence of the first one in you will not overshadow or affect the work of this community? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bolaji, once again. Please, I would like to let us clarify this. This is a community and we are not fighting any Cold War here. That's one. My question now goes to all the candidates. I'm sure everybody, all of you are youths. So what are your plans to make the younger generation know more about policy making in Africa? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I'm gonna speak in French. So this is Suad from Algeria. En fait, j'ai pas une question, c'est.
It is not a question. I want that they explain to us the strategy. We need more the strategy, the value, not just the background.
This is a question from Zoom. Her name is Sylvain. Okay. So she told me to ask the candidates if they've read the CPM, RSA, or the Afrinic bylaws.
So, pour les réponses, on va commencer.
The answers. We are starting from the right to the left. So we have 1 minute to answer. So try now to convince.
Again from Africa. I don't know. That first question, I don't want to go into it. I did Cisco like 2008, and I've been using IP addresses from then till date. So I don't need to express to you if I know what is /22 is or /24 or /31. The other question, what have I contributed to the policy development in Afrinic? I think even today I made comments on the floor, and also I made comments on the RPD yesterday, talking about different policies and how they affect Africa. So I wouldn't, what I was asked was the number of times. I wouldn't keep track of the number of times, but I would say evident for my expression, I contributed today. So that means I contribute. A question says, how will you impact the youth? The reason I'm interested in this post is because it's a very sensitive position. And I would like to commend the people that have done it previously. They've handled it well. So I would like to learn from the experience and also imbibe that experience in the youth coming up, so that this will be an avenue to show people that the youth can also participate in policy development in Africa. And I've read the laws. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The first, I want to respond to what he said. My competence shouldn't be in question because I was nominated and I was brought here. So it means someone believes I know my job. And my knowledge of IP address shouldn't be questioned because my job involves the use of IP address every day. That's number one. Number two, about my contribution on policies and all that. I do contribute, I don't keep count, but we all communicate differently. I don't speak if I don't need to speak. If someone has said something I have in mind, I don't need to repeat because I don't like repetitions naturally. So yes, I contribute, sir. And for what I plan to do for the youth, when I came up here, I said, basically my agenda is to get the youth more involved in the process of policy making, because someone said something, I think it was Kumi when he was speaking, when he talked about experience. Experience is good, but the game changers, the disruptors are the young people. And I think when more young people come in, more original ideas, fresh ideas come into every system. And that is the way forward. So that is why I said I wanted to participate. And that's why I said I want to give my time. It's unfortunate that as a co-chair, you need to be unbiased, which is good. So my opinion stays silent until, if nominated, my tenure expires. But I am going to encourage the youth to get more involved. The last question about the bylaws. Yes, I read the bylaws recently again because I was afraid I'll be thrown questions there. So I have read it over and over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kobe. 1 minute 30.
Okay, I will go quickly. The first question was to me was about authoring PDPBs if there is no conflict of interest. So my response to that is I've gone through the current PDP, and PDP is not about supporting a proposal or not, it's about following the process. So that's what I'm doing till now, and I will keep doing that in the fair manner, as I've stated in during my presentation, fair, open, and transparent manner. So the second question was about, how to groom the current youth. So I've stated also before that I've been a Afrinic Fellow in 2015 and also in 2017. And during my second term being a fellow, my responsibility was to coach the other fellow. So the current Afrinic Fellowship team is doing well, and I think is the venue to groom the youth. So that's my plan also, and my strategy to help or to give back what I've taken from this community and working group. So yes, I've read the current TPM. I've even participated with the entire policy. I've read the bylaws. I've read the RSA also. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, the first question that was asked was on the issue of me having the time. I went to university in Britain, and in University of York, there is an award called York Award. It's an award given to people who are able to do things outside their academic activities. And I was one of the few people that won that award, to show that I've been able to combine different things, and I've always been somebody that I've been multitasking all my life. Secondly, on the exams Caleb gave us, I teach wireless communications. And I'll answer this question with the other question on youth. I have 2 of my students here. I am sure those 2 of my students can answer those questions. And in terms of encouraging students or encouraging youth, I decided to bring 2 of my students here in order for them to learn, in order for them to be the next generation. In terms of my experience and in terms of allowing ITU to overshadow Afrinic, one of the reasons why I am contesting for this position is because I want to bring my experience at the ITU. At the ITU, there is what we call decorum, okay? That's that, okay? And in terms of my plans, I think I've said some of my plans originally. I've read the bylaw, and I am ready to contribute. I've been contributing to the policy development process in Afrinic, and even beyond Afrinic. I am one of the top researchers when it comes to dynamic spectrum access in Africa. Google Scholar ranks me one of the 50, at least. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, Moses. This time.
Once again, my name is Moses, and I'm from Uganda. The first question that was asked me was what contribution have you made in the policy development? I want to start by saying that I am on the mailing list and I have read every email. Every email, I've analyzed it. Sometimes I am surprised at the level of line in which the conversation takes. But yes, I have read everything and analyzed it. I attended, of course, I was in Tunisia. I attended the policy debate in Tunis, in Tunisia, and I have also read documents for the policy development, and I appreciate them. This is one of the things I think that made me actually apply. Number one, regarding the role of a PDP co-chair, a PDP chair, working group chair. It says creating reports of mailing list discussion in preparation for face-to-face meetings, chairing meeting sessions and declaring consensus. Okay, I won't go, but that's one of the interesting things. Why am I reading that? Because it shows that everyone is encouraged to take part and make sure we have good.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moses. The time is off.
Yeah, my work in Uganda, I'm an Internet Society board member, and I have done a lot of work with the youth. That's why you have.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Vous comprenez que.
Thank you very much. The responsibility are very hard, so we are giving the microphone to the chair, then we are going to vote. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much, Mr. President of NOCOM.
So, yes, we are running out of time. So we have to vote for these guys. I think, gentlemen, you can take your seats back. So, Saj, you did not get any applications from ladies, right? So, yes, so according to the process, it is supposed to be a show of hands, not a secret ballot. It is a show of hands, okay? So we now have 7 candidates. There were 8 before, but Caleb decided to step down. So we have 7. Now, there are 2 positions. One of them is for 2 years, and the other is for 1 year. The way we shall do this, we shall ask for a show of hands, and it will be a plurality vote. That means we need a majority winner. The one that has the majority, the highest number of votes, takes the 2-year term. The runner-up takes the 1-year term or tenure. So I hope that is clear. The candidate with the highest number of votes takes the 2-year tenure, and the runner-up takes the 1 year. Now, in case of a tie, we'll redo it, and I hope that that won't happen. Now, because of the way we shall be voting, we need a majority winner. We need somebody to win this. Therefore, I request that for each candidate that we shall be reading out in alphabetical order, please vote once. Once and only once. Okay? Assume you have a ballot paper in front of you with 8 people, with 7 people, and you're looking for one. You tick once. If you tick twice on such a ballot paper, it will be invalid. Okay? So I expect that when a candidate is read out in alphabetical order, you put your hands up for that candidate. You vote for that candidate. And we expect each person to vote once. That is the plan. So in case you see your neighbor voting twice, please kick him out of the room or let us know.
Point of order.
I expect that the door will be closed when the exercise starts. And hopefully we shall go through this quickly. I see that there are questions, but we really are out of time. Are these questions regarding the voting process?
Yes.
Which has, okay. Owen and
Owen DeLong.
It's not a change to the process because this is the process we're going to follow now. If you have any suggestions, we shall take them maybe and consider them for another election, but we are not going to change the process.
When you're electing two candidates, generally everybody is allowed to vote for two candidates. I don't understand the irregularity, and I don't think it is fair that everybody votes once when we're trying to elect two positions.
Badru?
Thank you. I'm going to suggest that show of hands on 7 candidates in a room like this is going to create more problems. I think there was a flaw somewhere here because the 7 candidates, we should have actually done a ballot. 7 candidates, show of hands, you're creating a bit of a problem. Even it's unfair on the people who are counting. It's very difficult for you to actually authentically say that it was fair.
We are following process, Badru, and that's what is written. That's what is inked. That's the process for voting for a PDWG co-chair. It's a show of hands. It's in the consolidated policy manual. Unless you actually change, propose a policy to change that, I don't think that can be possible.
So I had somebody suggest something that you vote, either you vote and you go to the back of the room or something, but the idea that you're going to call names 7 times and then count is a little bit flawed.
What do you suggest, Badru?
I am very good at raising problems, not very good at finding the solutions. We have,
sorry, I have a suggestion.
We have very many people in this room. I'm sure there's somebody with a good idea.
I have a suggestion, please.
I would like for now to close the microphone so no more people coming to the microphone because we're really out of time. So let's hear from you and see what next. But please, microphone queues closed.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. Alpha, I am Alpha from Senegal. I'm giving you time so you can put your earphones. I was just suggesting something very simple. The people who are going to vote, every time when you vote, you come out of the room. Then when we will finish, then you will come back. Even we can count when you're going out.
Did you get the point?
Est-ce que vous...
So I actually didn't hear what he said because I was looking for my mic, but here's my suggestion and the last point which you raised. It's a plural voting pattern, which means you have to vote 2 people, maximum of 2 people or minimum of 1. Why don't you just do it this way? It's still show of hands, right? Tell everyone, give every candidate a tally number, right? There is paper in front of everyone here. Still show of hands, and tell them to raise the 2 candidates they have, and staff will come and collect all of them together and compile the tally over there. It's still a show of hands. You are not taking over the rule. You are only tweaking it a little bit
just to manage the very complex situation. That's just what I think.
Sunday, please, carry on.
Thank you very much.
Can we have some order, please?
Committee.
Please, quiet, please. Sunday, over to you.
Thank you very much, Election Committee. I understand the need to follow the rules, but I also understand the need to follow all the rules, not some. There should have been one election, not two. So take note of that peculiarity. Okay? There should have been, normally the seats are staggered so that you only elect one in a year, not the two at a time. Take note of that. The second thing is that there are 7 candidates. It's a lot. We want participation, we got participation. The third is that the people in the room can decide how to make life easy for themselves if there is no objection. All right, so if we all agree that this makes sense, then it makes sense. My proposal is very simple to answer Badru's question. Let everybody take 2 pieces of papers because it's a plurality election, as you said. We must vote for 2, not 1. There are 2 candidates. So let everybody take 2 pieces of paper. Let the candidates be given numbers 1 to 5. Put the first person you want on the first paper, put the second person you want on the second paper. It's not secret ballot, it's show of hands. Hold the 2 papers in your hands, let the staff come and collect them, count, and we are done. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunday. And one last comment from Marcus.
Well, comments. Some of the suggestions are a bit dicey because the first one, when you vote, you go out. Somebody can raise the issue of validity of the entire process. You know, in this community, we want to sue. So please, let's be careful with what we are doing. We constitute an assembly. We can decide now on what you can do. Rules are there, but you can also decide now on what you can do. But the situation is a bit critical. Let's think thoroughly and then not to commit any mistakes.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Oui, j'ai juste une précision à apporter.
It is in relationship of the proposal given. So you show papers. It doesn't mean who voted to whom. So the procedure, I prefer the proposal that people go out of the room.
Okay, so in 1 minute, 1.5 maximum.
En 1 minute.
Quickly consult and we'll see how to proceed. Just your indulgence, please. 1.5 minutes. Thank you. Okay, so we have a way forward, and it is none other than what has been suggested or seconded by good old Reverend Sunday. So the list of candidates is going to be projected up on the screen, or the 7 candidates. Make sure there are 7 candidates. Please omit Caleb from the list, okay? So we are going to project on the screen a list of 7 candidates, all right? Each numbered from 1 to 7. You will each get a piece of paper. I believe there's quite a lot of stationery in front of you. You'll each get a piece of paper, and based on the numbering of the candidates up on the screen, you write on that piece of paper your preferred candidates by number, okay? So 2 candidates by number, number 3 and number 6, number 1 and number 5 on the piece of paper, okay? Staff will pass through following each row, picking up those papers. Can we please have the list of candidates projected on the 2 screens, if possible? 1 paper. 1 paper. On 1 paper, write 2 numbers. I will demonstrate that for you now. Okay, so this vote is not going to count. It's just a demo, huh? So get a piece of paper, okay? Get a piece of paper. On the piece of paper, write your two preferred candidates by their number on the screen, okay? You could write, say, just like this, okay? Now staff are going to go through as, you make sure that you raise your paper as the staff are going through, okay? Staff are going through row by row to pick those papers. Am I clear? I hope that is a yes. Can I have some order, please? Can I have some order, please? Can I please have some order? Am I clear? Okay, so seeing no questions, I believe that it is all clear. Staff, can I have this list projected to the other screen, please? Okay. Okay, so I would like to have some order in the room, please. Order, please. Order, please. People at the back, you're making so much noise and you're all standing up and filling up the place. So we shall have staff collecting the papers from each one, starting from the extreme row on my left.
Can we borrow some paper?
So when the staff are moving through, please hold your paper high so that the staff can collect it. And the voting starts now.
There's some
And
ballot papers. We need ballot papers.
I need to state that staff of the other registries are not allowed to participate. Staff of the other RIRs are not allowed to participate. Just FYI. Thank you. Well, unfortunately, on the screen on my right, it seems we are not able to project the candidate list there. So I suppose you stretch your eyes and look this way. So can you please? Oh, there we are. Thank you. So everybody, can you please take your seats and make your choices? Can you please take your seats and make your choices? Please take your seats and make your choices. So to maintain the spirit of the show of hands approach that is supposed to be in this room, the staff will pass through. So make sure that you put your piece of paper high. And in fact, it should even be open so that we see who you voted for. Okay? Because the original idea is a show of hands. So there's no secrecy. We need to know who you voted for, right? So can we please, all right. Okay, so I'm going to request the staff of the elections committee to start by collecting the papers, starting with the row on my extreme left. Can you please start now? Thank you. I request the back benchers to sit down. That includes Danny, that includes Alan, that includes Abdullah, that includes Arnold. Please sit. Relax. Okay? So Ashir. Okay, so the staff are now collecting the pieces of paper, and once that is done, I will kindly request our friends from the RIRs to help us with the tallying. Thank you so much. I will call you up once that is done. Thank you. Please raise your hand high with a piece of paper, and we'll have that collected. Thank you. Abdul, can you please sit down? And all the others at the back, can you please sit? Colleagues, please be seated. Be seated and hold your paper quite high, nice and high, so it can be collected by staff. Can I please have the door? The door needs to be closed. I think whoever goes out should not come back in. Can we please not go in and out of the room until the voting exercise is finished? Can we please not go in and out of the room until the voting exercise is finished?
Votre attention, s'il vous plaît. Votre attention, s'il vous plaît. Personne ne devrait sortir de la salle. On demande à tous ceux qui sont au niveau des entrées de fermer les portes. S'il te plaît, Brice, quelqu'un peut juste fermer les portes?
Your attention, please.
Close the door, close the door. Nobody's supposed to go out until the exercise is finished. We may
end up having people voting twice or three times.
Please, it's quite simple. We need to do an head count of everyone in this place. Once we have a total number of head counts, no, we have total number of ballots. Then if it's more, then the election becomes null and void.
Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we've identified some irregularities because some people were swapping papers around and voting twice. So we have to do this again, but with a slight change in process. So, so here's what we're going to do now, and we hope this will be more efficient. 2 staff are going to stand on each door. All right? Whoever casts or it's not casting a ballot, whoever writes, or get a piece of paper, select your 2 candidates by number, and go out of the room, hand each paper to a staff member. Okay? All right? So, am I clear? All right? So, we are doing this again. We are doing this again. Unfortunately, we are doing this again. So, get a piece of paper, jot down your 2 preferred candidates, no more than 2. If you jot down more than 2, that will be invalid. All right? Starting with the extreme row on my right, I'll be calling row by row to step out of the room and hand the papers over to the staff by the door. Please do not get out until I tell you to get out. All right? The exercise starts now. Jot down your 2 preferred candidates again. In the next 1 minute, I hope everybody will be finished. Do not go to the door until I tell you. People in the middle row, please hang on. Starting with the row on my extreme right, can you please step out of the room and hand over your papers to the Afrinic staff? Thank you. Nobody else yet. SM, you can't vote. Okay? Starting with the row on my extreme right, please step out of the room and hand over your paper to the African staff by the door. Now I notice that some people are not getting out. I wonder why. All right. Can we please speed this up? Can we speed this up? The row right by the entrance, can we please be quick? Please make it quick. The gala dinner is meant to be starting now, so. All right. Has everybody on the extreme row on my right? Okay, next is the row right in front of me. Can you please get out through those two doors and hand over your pieces of paper to the African staff for the row right in front of me. Okay, can we please be quick? Arnold, are you still voting? Okay. Nobody comes back in the room until I call them. So staff by the door, please make sure nobody comes in until I say so. Thank you. So everyone out, please. The next row, can you please slowly head over? Let's make it quick. Let's make it quick. Very, very quick. And I guess everybody else can start slowly marching out. Let's make it quick. So remember, nobody gets back in until called back. Thank you. All right, so has everybody exited the room? Not yet. Not yet. So let's have those tally sheets. Let's have the tally sheets. Do we have the tally sheets? Gillen, do we have the tally sheets, please? The tally sheets, Gillen, thank you.
Officer, get the things. Very good thing, officer. Don't allow them to go with it out.
Avec l'intervention de M. Alain pour pouvoir laisser les appels.
Les gars.
Place the ring.
Push.
Eh? Alpha. Yeah, she go inside now. Go inside. Me, I want to oppose proposal.
Start singing now.
Okay, so we have the results. Thank you so much, our volunteers, our colleagues from the other areas. Thank you so much, we appreciate. And the process requires that the NOMCOM chair declares the results. So, Mr. Saj, over to you. Can you please declare the results from the election? Thank you.
On peut avoir votre attention, s'il vous plaît.
Your attention, please. We are going to ask all people who are standing to sit down so that we can announce the winner. We are going to give the result in its totality. After we shall give those which we have taken into consideration. In those 7 candidates, we are going to have on it 2. The first candidate, Komi Elisha, he has got 64 voices. Second candidate, Sami Hassan, he has got 94 voices. The third one, Moses Serugo, has got 164 voices. We need your attention, please, and we shall celebrate later. The fourth candidate, Taiwo Oyewande, if I talk to the name, but he has got only 14 voices. Numéro 5, Ikechuku Anthony Oba, he has got 7. The sixth candidate, Abdulkarim Oloyed, has got 129 votes. Le numéro 7, Mark Elkins, he has got 7 votes. In a conclusion, we can have your attention, please. The 2 vice and president, vice president, number 3, Moses Serugo, and he has 2 years as a chair. He has 2 years. Let me get time to speak.
Le candidat
the sixth candidate, who is Abdoulaye. Il est le second. Il a 169 voices. Thank you so much for all.
What's the same?
He has been the first, yes, the Ugandan, as I told you, because the number of Ugandans who are here.
Yes, you can put the number. Okay. So now we go straight to the SOS election. Will I call the candidates? I think I can call the candidates. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Your attention, please. Can we have your attention, please?
Okay. We have one more activity, people. One more activity. So can I please have your attention? Can I please have your attention? We have one more activity, and it is also an election.